From the moment we enter this world, we are imbued with an innate sense of time. Before you even take your first steps, your body and mind have long perceived this mysterious, omnipresent element of time. Not in a way that you can quantify it, but in a way that you feel it. You feel it coursing through every fiber of your being. Maybe even in birth, some part of us realizes that it's all slipping away. We try to hold on, and yet time escapes us. It moves us from one phase of our lives to another, or from this world to the next. All in the blink of an eye. Oh no. Shoot. Hey, Internet. Hi. It's me, Mike. Okay, you might be thinking that because of how this video started, that this might be some kind of Peter McKinnon making coffee type of montage, but it's not, because I don't have any coffee left. So I just really need a cup of coffee. Now, this might expose me to be the non-coffee snob that I am, and what I'm about to say might be considered heresy for some people. But some instant coffee is really good. Like this one right here, that one, this one is really good. It's hot, but it's really good. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this part of the video pretty quick. The video is about 3 things. The first thing is the awning that I built. That's the footage that you saw a minute ago. Item number 1, the awning. Item number 2 is the Rockler Plywood Challenge. So the guys from the Modern Maker podcast are hosting a challenge called the Rockler Plywood Challenge. By the way, Modern Maker podcast is really good. I highly recommend it. And the premise of that whole challenge is pretty simple. All you have to do is build something, anything, out of 1 sheet of plywood. The problem is that at the time that I heard about this challenge, I was already well into building this awning, and that's what I wanted this video to be about. But at the same time, I also kind of have this urge to take part in the challenge, and so I decided kind of at the last minute that maybe I should just build something out of plywood. Oh, so good. However, I am really behind schedule, like really behind schedule. And right now it's May 31st. I have a lot of work ahead of me. So whether or not I'm actually successful in putting out this video on time, at least now you know that that's what I'm going for. And then part 3 of the video, which is kind of like the overarching theme of the whole video, is time and how we choose to spend that time. Okay, so what I've got right down there is called pressure treated lumber. And the thing that you need to know about that is that it stinks so bad. So unless you figured out a way to live forever, or you're a member of the undead, you're a zombie, time is a finite resource. I made this pie chart behind me to help me illustrate that. I was going to use this to make a pie chart, but I don't think it's going to be big enough.
So yeah, just draw one. Time is a
finite resource. Let me rephrase that. Time will persist long after you're gone. It's your time that's limited. Unless heat death is the ultimate fate of the universe, at which time would cease to exist? No, I can't go down that rabbit hole. You tell me how that works. All right, so I think this might be an okay time to mention the fact that I have no experience when it comes to construction or safety standards or anything like that. Everything that I'm doing here is just research or intuition, and of course, learning stuff on YouTube. So take that for what it's worth. If you want to do something like this, please be safe. My point is that, like most people with a pulse, I'm tasked with figuring out how to best make use of my time. Now, when you're a little kid, this whole thing is a lot simpler. There's eat, sleep, and then what I'm calling free time / figuring things out. You know, when you're a baby, you're kind of like exploring the world and learning new things. When you're a baby, all the time is figuring things out time. I think things are going pretty good. I was talking to the camera. So one of the problems that I'm running into right now is trying to get this post level to the ground. I don't know exactly when it's level. There's always plane noise in the background. It's gonna mess up all these shots. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is just eyeball it. So then as you get a little bit older, things start to change. Some of these things are still here. There's still eat and there's still sleep. You still have free time. I'm gonna abbreviate this FT for free time. And then school becomes a big one. And then down here, I'm introducing a new segment called picking your nose. That could be anything, but that's mostly what I did. Early in the morning, I need to paint these plastic pieces. This stuff smells so bad. And then this just keeps going. Everything kind of just shifts around a little bit. There's still the basics. There's still free time, eat, sleep, which is now 2 Z's instead of 3. There's still school, and then pops in a new category called feelings. That's a big piece of the pie. I still picked my nose, so I'm leaving that there. Jack, are you paying attention? Okay, you're about to witness one of the most ambitious projects that I've ever started, and it all starts with woodworking's most dreaded task, which is sanding. Sander. So this dynamic keeps changing, you know, you get a little bit older, and then at some point, another big change happens in your life because presumably you've stopped going to school. And that gets replaced with, you might have guessed it, responsibility. I don't know about that one. That kind of makes me feel weird. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna erase this. Okay, I'm gonna put job. Yeah. So in my opinion, being a full-grown adult and trading school for a job actually leaves me with more free time. Now, this isn't some commentary on how I have so much free time, but what I think is that school takes up such a large portion of your life for so long, and it can sometimes become this overbearing beast that kind of sucks the life out of you. This might be a good time to put some disclaimers on here like not to scale, factually inaccurate, total BS, whatever. And then for some people, the next logical step is having kids. So I guess I'll cross this out, eat, sleep. But I'm not at that point in my life yet, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go back. So how you end up spending your free time can become this big, ambiguous thing. You could spend time with your family, or you could have a hobby, you could read a book, you could make a video about how to spend your free time, anything really. And I try to be very mindful of how I spend my time. I have this maniacal drive to be more efficient, but sometimes it'll have the reverse effect where in trying to be more efficient, I've actually just wasted a bunch of time. They say that you're supposed to mix paint in like the shape of an 8, and I have found this to be quite effective, so just follow the directions. It's just stirring paint anyways. So it really becomes a battle to decide how to best spend your time. And it's a battle that we all face. Do I want to get better at woodworking? Do I want to learn how to make better videos? Do I want to try to integrate a new skill? Like, I think it'd be awesome to learn how to weld. I don't know. Do I finally want to start putting out more videos? Do I want to take part in the Rockler Plywood challenge? And the answer to the last two questions is yes and yes. And the truth is a little bit more complicated. Like, for me, I'm always doing more than one thing at a time and not really devoting my whole life just to one thing. And it's not like there's a right or wrong answer to these questions. It's maybe just do the best you can. It's just something to think about, you know, to pass the time. Can you believe it only took one sheet of plywood to make this thing? I know, right? Alright, I should probably go edit this video now.